Dr. Fabretti is president of the Germantown Spiritist Society, and she previously coordinated the Spiritism for Everyone Live web meetings, which was an educational program of the United States Spiritist Federation. She continues to contribute to the U.S. Spiritist movement as a speaker. Dr. Fabretti holds a doctorate of veterinary medicine and has practiced in the field for many years. Welcome, Dr. Fabretti.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having, an enjoyable time. It is in our nature, the desire for constant improvement in all areas of human life. Moral transformation is one of those areas, a very important one. Moral transformation relates to moral values and virtues. Moral values are the guidelines that assist us in deciding between right and wrong. And virtue is the behavior, our conduct, our actions, showing high moral values. It is a delicate topic. But let me start by stating that I'm not here to tell you what to do, to preach morality, or to establish canons of behavior. The purpose of this presentation is to bring awareness about the need for moral presentation and to share knowledge and insight about this journey. Oh, on is better if it's on, isn't it? The path to moral excellence is not an easy one, for it requires constant self-reflection, self-discipline, and the unwavering determination to choose righteousness over convenience, over expediency. Not an easy path, but difficult doesn't mean impossible. It simply means that we must work harder. Before we go further into the topic, we need to briefly talk about moral relativism. Moral relativism is the idea that there is no universal or absolute set of morals. What is wrong under one circumstance may be right under another. We know that humanity's moral values have been fluid through time, place, and culture. And to illustrate that, I will give you an example. Child labor during the Industrial Revolution. It may be shocking to learn that before 1900s in the United States, there were virtually no laws protecting children from the cruelties of child labor. At the same time in Britain, children start working on average at 10 years old. It varied. In industrial areas, it could be even less than that. Child labor is morally and ethically unacceptable. In 1989, the Convention on the Rights of the Children were signed. For the first time, children were seen as humans with rights rather than economic assets. Wrapping up, just because certain thoughts and behaviors were accepted by some at one point, at some time, as right, doesn't make it right. In the Spirit's book, question 621, Kardec asked the spirits, where is God's law written? We saw this one, I think, both of them. Yes, and the butterfly. Uh, so they ask, where is God's love written? In the conscience, they respond. That inner feeling, that inner voice acting as a guide of one's behavior. There is a phrase that I love that is, conscience, help us hear the voice of God in us. This beautiful quote was written by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French priest. I don't know if you can see his name there. There is another one similar, written by C.S. Lewis. You do not have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. What moral values ought we to use as guidelines to work on our moral transformation? As I mentioned before, moral values are the guidelines that assist us in deciding between right and wrong. Where do we get our moral values? Family, school, religion, peers? I think we may say with some degree of confidence that family and religion are the two major sources for moral values. We are not going to examine what constitutes a family because of the many definitions of family and the changing realities of the current times. But no matter what family looks like or means to you, family has a role, a very important role. The family is the first teacher that transmits the appropriate behavior patterns, values, attitudes, and norms of the society to the child. And what about religion? The role of religion on moral values. Depending on the source, there are over 4,000 to 10,000 religions, beliefs, and groups existing around the world. Religion and morality are not the same. Though religion may depend on morality and even develop alongside morality, morality does not necessarily depend upon religion. What do I mean by that? One doesn't need to have a religion to be a moral person. Atheists and believers both have moral compasses. Although family and religion teach us moral values, we are only humans. Some bias cannot be avoided. Who among us have no faults, no shortcomings, have never erred? So ideally, we need a guideline so that we all can agree upon. I love Kardec's approach to how to reach a consensus about an idea or a concept. First step or test is to subject that concept to the severe examination of reason, common sense, and logic. The second step is to find a universal concordance when the same idea is widely accepted in many different places. There is a rule that passed those tests, that transcends many barriers. It is called the Golden Rule. This rule is not subject to religious beliefs, race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, sexual orientation, social class, culture, politics, age, anything else you can think of. As a matter of fact, nearly every religious belief, there is a variation of the Golden Rule. Even no religious people believe in its humanistic principles. Treat others as you would like to be treated. The golden rule is a good guide for our moral values and behavior. We can look for other sources of inspiration to assist us in determining which behaviors we want to acquire or improve. One of these sources is the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus offers us guidelines to moral behavior. Another one is in the book The Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 17, item 3, called Moral Persons. Kardec comments on this topic is a true gem. We talked about guidelines. Now let's talk about behavior. Behavior is the way in which one acts and conducts oneself, especially concerning others. In scientific research, human behavior is a complex interplay of three components: actions, thought, and emotions. There are many types of behavior: social behavior, learning behavior, moral behavior. No matter which type, the principles behind them are the same. Consider this: all behaviors occur for a reason, even if we are not aware of the reason. Behaviors stop occurring when they are ineffective, when they are not producing any significant or desired effect. We don't get what we want, we stop the behavior. Almost all human behavior is learned. The almost here is referring to reflex responses, which is the only innate behavior in humans. Behaviors continue to occur because they are effective. They are successful in producing a desired or intended result. We get what we want, we continue with the same behavior. No behaviors occur out of the blue. For every effect, there is a cause, a reason. This chart shows the level of consciousness regarding behaviors. The first level, the lower one, the green, of consciousness is unawareness. We are unaware that we are engaged in an undesirable, unhealthy behavior. Then, post-behavior awareness. We become conscious of it, but only after the fact, after we did something. I believe we all can relate to that. The next level, present awareness. We become conscious that we are engaging in the undesirable, unhealthy behavior while we are doing it. Following, choice. We are conscious that we are about to engage in undesirable, unhealthy behavior. And in that moment, we have a choice to do something different. And lastly, conscious behavior. It is basically any behavior that is completed with intent, derived from our own volition. On the conscious level of behavior called choice, we are about to engage, that we are about to engage in the undesirable, unhealthy behavior. And in that moment, in that space, we have a choice to do something different. Viktor Frankl has a great quote: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space, is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. 2 tips to make the space work for you. First, avoid making choices when you are feeling anger, fear, sadness, even hunger. Those emotions are not good advisors. The American Psychological Association says that it's hard to make smart choices when we are in the grips of a powerful negative emotion. The second tip is to find a calm space within us before making the decisions. Focus on breathing or counting to 10 or 100, whatever works for you. Within that space, you will have the opportunity to change your behavior. All human behavior is learned. The question is, do we want to change our ways? Moral transformation is a journey, a long and often difficult process of personal change and development. So where to start? First, there is an intent, then a behavior, then a habit, then a practice, then a second nature, then it's simply who you are. Set intentions, not goals. While both goals and intentions steer our path, they do so in fundamentally different ways. Goals are linked or focus on outcomes, achievements, and results. Intentions, on the other hand, illuminate our journey. They are present moment anchors that are deeply rooted in our personal values. Emotions motivate and help guide our decisions. They influence judgments and choices. You can see various examples there. The world around us, other people, and our own thoughts trigger emotional reactions all the time. We already said that strong feelings lead us to make unwise decisions. So become aware of your emotions, understand them, seek their reason, reflect on your behaviors. We were reminded earlier today of the importance of knowing oneself, recognizing and acknowledging those personal areas in need of moral improvement. So self-awareness is a good place to start, the first step. Then perhaps the next step is the most consequential one. It is to know what we want. Do I really want to change? The desire to change requires a conviction that the change we seek is necessary, that we truly want to do the work. We also learn that we all possess an important set of tools, the powers of spirit, thought and will. Thought become our words. Words become our actions. Actions become our habits, so forth and so on. So what we often lack is the will, the determination to start and continue the path. Moral transformation is a gradual process with small improvements as well as setbacks. True transformation is a journey, a long and often challenging process of personal change and development. When should we start this journey? The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now. Lao Tzu also said that do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. How long does it take to form new habits? A habit is a behavior you want to incorporate into your life for the long term. We just need to set our expectations correctly. It was believed that it took 21 days to form a new habit. I always thought so. The 21-day rule originates from a surgeon called Maxwell Maltz. He wrote a book referencing his patients needing a minimum of 21 days to adjust to their new bodies. More relevant research now is available. An article from the University College of London on Science of Habits reads, research has shown that it takes 66 days, 66 days up to 10 weeks on average to form a new habit. This can vary from person to person, and also it depends on the habit, on the behavior we want to change. However long it takes, practicing that behavior does get easier with time. Research also suggests that if we do keep up, the behavior until a habit is formed, it will eventually become a second nature. And another information is that missing the opportunity to practice a behavior does not significantly impact the habit formation process. Meaning, I'm trying to change a behavior, and one day I miss it, or I forget it, whatever. I just, slip up. Don't be discouraged. Just try to get back on track, as soon as you can. So if the new behavior is important to you, be patient and keep working on it. Keep practicing it. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button, of course. The dictionary is the only place success comes before work. Aristotle golden mean. Virtue is behavior showing high moral standards. On the other hand, vice is a negative habit or behavior that is immoral, unhealthy, and socially unacceptable. Golden mean in philosophy, it's an approach to ethics that emphasizes finding the appropriate middle ground between two extremes. Moral behavior is the mean, the middle ground between two extremes. One end is the excess, the other end the deficiency. Let's take courage as an example. To be courageous, it's the perfect balance between two negative extremes, recklessness, and cowardice. Aristotle listed moderation as one of the moral virtues. Moderation plays a vital role in all forms of moral excellence. So balance and harmony are more likely when moderation is sought rather than extremes. Moral transformation is a journey. We are repeating, striving to be better, a better and improved version of ourselves. It is an ongoing process. Why not to give this project the attention it deserves? Moral transformation has an impact on whom we are in just about every aspect of our lives. It's a true investment for our immortal spirit. Most of us want to change the world. But the world we need to change first is the one inside of us. If you want to change the world, who do you begin with? Yourself or others? This transformative experience, metamorphic experience, is personal, individual, and non-transferable. Moral transformation is part of this evolutionary experience. At first glance, the statement sounds very harsh. Let's try to understand a little bit about it. This transformative experience is personal, affecting all or belonging to us rather than anyone else. It affects us. It has an emotional impact on us. It is individual. Every experience is different. It is unique, tailored for each one of us, and non-transferable. Nobody can make this journey on your behalf. This calls to mind the idea of my cross to carry, my experience to have. Be proactive instead of reactive. Take the wheel. Having a proactive attitude enables us to make decisions in a mindful, well-informed way and grow from those experiences rather than scrambling and put out unexpected fires. Paraphrasing William Henley, the author of the poem Invictus, be the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Joanna de Angelis, on the book Happy Life, that both of the three of us are referencing, advises, do not abandon your aspirations of moral transformation because of the first difficulties you encounter. When one decides to modify their moral behavior for the better, it seems like we face a general conspiracy against our desire for improvement. Everything changes, and it is out of control. The least little things become complicated. The situation, she says, may lead us to retreat and give up. Don't give up. You only fail if you quit. Okay. I like tales or stories that teach a moral or spiritual lesson. This is a favorite. You have probably heard of it before. There are many variations of it out there. I believe it goes well with the topic of this presentation. So please allow me to read to you. And I don't know why, if I choke, it's because I get very emotional every time I read it. An old man told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, doubt, regret, guilt, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, hope, love, humility, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and truth." The boy thought about it and asked, "Grandfather, which wolf wins?" The old man simply replied, "The one you feed." Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.